Hi everyone, welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
I'm Chickling.
And we're on day 3 of our story article about the book Wonder. Now we've finished telling the story. Today we're going to look at some of the themes. So let's just recap what the story was about. A boy, Augie Pullman, has a rare facial deformity.
And we know that his mom taught him at school until he was 10 years old to protect him from bullies.
So then he starts going to this fancy school, Beecher Prep, and some students are really mean. This bad kid Julian says he has the plague and people can catch it from Augie unless they wash their hands.
But others like Jack and Summer seem like they will support him.
Unfortunately, Augie hears Jack saying mean things about him with Julian behind his back.
But after that, Summer tells Jack, oh, you hurt Augie's feelings. And then Jack punches Julian the next time he says something bad and wins back Augie's trust.
The students go off on a trip without Julian, and Augie has fun until older boys attack him and Jack.
Yeah, but Julian's friends save Augie and Jack. Turns out that Julian isn't popular at all.
Yeah, they were just doing it and making fun of Augie because they were scared of him. Now then, Julian leaves Beecher Prep, and after that, Augie has a good time. And even though it was difficult, he kind of gained confidence, and he is awarded a medal for his growth. And it has that sort of happy ending. So that's the story. And in today's article, we're going to look a bit more at the themes and ideas of this book. Let's read through day 3.
Reading.
Wonder. Wonder was written in 2012 by R.J. Palacio. It's a touching book that contains important messages about strength and understanding. Palacio wanted readers to learn what life is like when people don't know how to behave toward you. This is the reason for the interesting way Palacio wrote Wonder. The story is told through the eyes of different characters, including Augie and Jack. This lets the reader see how Augie is affected by bullying and how he shows his feelings to others. It also shows how some characters, like Jack, struggle to respond well to people with deformities. By letting us see how some characters accept and welcome Augie, Palacio offers an important lesson. Don't judge a book by its cover. Augie is kind and a loyal friend to the people who look beyond his appearance. Aside from the way he looks, he is just a regular 10-year-old. But in order for him to have a regular childhood, people need to let him tell his own story.
So our article begins by saying Wonder, that's the name of the story, was written in 2012 by R.J. Palacio. And we also read, it's a touching book that contains important messages about strength and understanding. Now that sentence included today's language in focus, so let's learn more about it right now.
我们今天的 language in focus 要讲的是情绪形容词的运用哦，那它是从情绪动词衍生出来的哦，我们可以分为 VING form 还有 past participle， 就是过去分词的两种形态。那么现在分词呢，就是修饰事物，就是有一种令人感到什么样的感觉。那如果是过去分词呢，就是表达某人的主观感受，就是感到怎么样的。比如说 The parents all shared interesting stories about their children， 这边我们使用 interesting 是指这些故事是非常有趣的。又或者是 Benjamin was a tired man when he got back from the long journey， 这个 tired man 指的是 Benjamin 他很累了嘛，是形容这个人很累。我们在一个主词加一个 be 动词或连缀动词再加上 VING， 或者是再加上一个介系词再加受词。我们看一个句子，这个也是情绪形容词的运用。比如说 People are very accepting of using fitness products， 所以人们是非常接受使用健身产品的。 那么如果今天把这个 VING form 变成我们刚刚讲的过去分词，就如下面这个句子 We are concerned with the physical and psychological well-being of our employees. 我们是非常关心员工的身体健康的或身心健康。所以呢，我们的文章这本书啊，它是一个很感人的书 It's a touching book.Yep,
and it has messages about strength and understanding. Now, here we're talking about the word strength. Now, this could just be a measure of how physically strong something is. Somebody has a lot of strength. They've got big muscles and can pick stuff up. But that's not what we really mean in this sentence. We're talking about how well people can stand up to all of the things that life throws at them. It's their ability to achieve something and get through a difficult situation. For example, we might say it will take a great deal of strength to get through this difficult situation. Or hard times.
所以 strength 这边是意志力或毅力的意思。那当然指一个人的力气很大也是可以，不过我们在这边是意志力的，比较偏向意志力的感觉。那么 contain 指的就是包含哦，所以你们有没有看到它上面说 It's a touching book that contains， 代表这是一本感人的书，那包含了什么呢？有关于意志力和理解力的重要信息。
So obviously, Augie has to show strength in his new situation, but Jack also has to show strength. And the other boys in the class also need to show strength to stand up to Julian and support each other and all of that. And for that, they need to show understanding. You know, like people are different, but that's okay. We should all still support each other. And so we see in the article it says, Palacio wanted readers to learn what life is like when people don't know how to behave toward you. So that's like Augie, you know, people don't know what to say. Should they be different? Should they be normal? Should they avoid him? Should they like really try to make friends? Like people don't really know how to react.
Is it that hard to just act normal?
I mean, yes, because otherwise everyone would do it all the time and there'd be no problem. So and maybe it's different for kids and adults as well.
Yeah.
You know, this is a young adult book. These kids are growing up and have to learn these lessons. So we also see this is the reason for the interesting way Palacio wrote Wonder.
OK， 我们出现这个字啦 ，interesting， 对不对？我们刚刚有讲到，我们今天 language in focus 就在讲这个，它就是有趣的。
And what is this interesting way? Well, the article says the story is told through the eyes of different characters, including Augie and Jack. Now, often when there's a story, you usually choose one character to be the main character. We call this person the point of view character. You see everything they see, you feel what they feel, you learn what they think. Now, if you have other characters, then you jump into different people's point of view. And this could be in third person, where it's like Augie did this, and then in another chapter, Jack did this. Or you could even use multiple first person perspectives. So each chapter is written like, I went here, I saw this is what I feel. But you'll learn that, oh, this is Augie, but this other one is Jack. So you'll really get to see how each person feels. Not just how Augie feels at school, but how Jack feels dealing with these problems. So by moving from different characters like this, you can get a lot of different points of view and tell a story from different angles.
所以我们这个故事是通过不同的角色来的角度去讲述的，包括 Augie 跟 Jack。所以我们这边有看到的 character， 这边指的是角色的意思，不过意思其实蛮多的。它可以指一个人的个性，或甚至是我们的字体。那所以比如说我们看电影啊，或看书啊，我们主角英文我们就可以说，哦，谁是这个 main character， 就是主角。
And as the article says, this technique lets the readers see how Augie is affected by bullying and how he shows his feelings to others. And because you'll see Augie's reaction from the point of view of Jack, which is different from how Augie might see it. So again, different perspectives on the same event. And it shows how he is affected by bullying. The word affect is a verb. Don't confuse it with the noun effect with an E. But if something affects something, then it is changing that thing and making it different. In our article, we've used the passive voice term with the ED. He is affected. So he is changed or he is made different by something outside of him. We might say, for example, many people's lives were affected by the big earthquake that hit the town.Be
affected 就是被影响。那老师刚刚有提到哦，如果今天你的 affect 前面的 a 改成 e， 它是 effect， 指的是影响啊，是名词哦。这两个字是不一样，你要记住一下它们的那个词性不同。所以我们今天是不是一直讲到那个霸凌这件事情？那我们一直看到 bully 这一个字，其实当名词就是霸凌者，所以 stop being a bully or never be a bully， 不可以去霸凌别人。那当动词的时候也可以，我们比如说去强迫一个人或欺凌一个人去做什么事情，英文就可以说的 bully someone into doing something。比如说 Don't let them bully you into doing their job for them。What should we do? We should always stand up to a bully. 我们应该要勇敢对这些霸凌者说不，因为他们是不对的。所以呢，我们这个作家他让读者看到 Augie 是怎么受到霸凌的影响，以及他怎么向其他人表达被霸凌的感受。
So back to this writing technique that Palacio chose, this way of writing, also shows how some characters, like Jack, struggle to respond well to people with deformities. So Jack finds it difficult, therefore he struggles. If you struggle with something, you find something difficult to do. You're not really sure about it. It takes you a long time. It's very difficult.You might say, for example, a lot of the students struggled with the homework. It was really difficult.
所以呢，这本书也显示了其他角色，像是 Jack 怎么去努力的对跟我们比较不一样的人做出很好的反应。所以像 struggle 这一个字，我们在文章中是动词嘛，可是我们可以把它当名词，代表挣扎。比如说 It was a terrible struggle for him to lose weight.And
here we said Jack struggled to respond well to people with deformities. Respond is similar to the word we looked at in day one, react. It's what you do in response to something else. You respond to it. Something happens, you respond. Now, this could just be an answer to a question. Somebody says something, you respond with an answer. But it could also be what you do, how you behave. In Jack's case here, it's how he behaves around people with deformities. Does he avoid them? Does he treat them as normal? Does he ask too many personal questions about it? All that kind of thing. Here's another example sentence. The young child responded to the disappointment by bursting into tears.
所以 respond 是动词嘛，那你做出来的这一个回应，我们英文就可以说 response。比如说 He has received a response from that college to his application.And
we carry on with the article and talking about how Palacio chose to write it. The article says, by letting us see how some characters accept and welcome Augie, Palacio offers an important lesson. Don't judge a book by its cover.So this word accept here means to allow someone to become a part of a group, a community, or a family. It shows that you're making them feel welcome, even though they might be a bit different. They might have different interests, different personalities, different skin color, or something like that. You're still accepting them. You say, yeah, you're fine. You can join us, no matter who you are, what you're like, and so on. For example, you might say,The new student came from a different country and felt like her classmates didn't accept her at first. We also have this lesson of the story, don't judge a book by its cover. This is a very well-known proverb. A lot of people will have heard this. I guess there's probably an equivalent saying in Chinese. I don't know what it is, though. But not judging a book by its cover means you judge people by what they say and do, how they act, what's inside of them, not just by how they look and what they are on the surface.
所以我们通过这个故事其实可以看到一些人物是怎么去接受以及去照顾或甚至是欢迎 Augie 这个人。所以 Palacio 给我们一个很重要的一课，就是不可以以貌取人哦。其实英文 Don't judge a book by its cover 就是我们中文的不可以以貌取人的意思。那为什么 cover 呢？因为 cover 这边指的就是书本的封面的意思。
Yeah, so a real literal example would be, this book doesn't look any good, but how do you know until you've read it?
Right.对
So this is all about getting to know Augie better than just his facial deformities. And the article says, Augie is kind and a loyal friend to the people who look beyond his appearance.
所以你看啊，是不是看到 Augie 大家就好可怕哦，不一样。但是其实 Augie 是多么友善的人啊，所以是那一些不看他外表人的忠实朋友。意思就是说，我们不应该看到一个人长怎么样就去 make assumptions about this person just based on how they look。所以我们这边是不是看到 loyal， 它就是指忠实的意思。那名词就是 loyalty， 就我们常常用这个字哦。比如说 some party members find it hard to transfer their loyalty to the new leader。所以一些党员发现，他原本的忠诚度呢，要转到新的领导人身上，好像有点难呢。
So also we say about Augie, aside from the way he looks, he is just a regular 10-year-old. So, okay, yeah, he's got a facial deformity, but otherwise, he's just a 10-year-old kid. Probably likes playing video games, going out, doing stuff, hanging out with friends, eating candy, all the normal 10-year-old stuff. That is why he's just a regular 10-year-old. Regular in this sense means normal, ordinary, typical, just like every other 10-year-old. You might say, for example, Jerry doesn't want a regular pet like a dog or cat. He wants to have a pet snake.
What? 好可怕 ，scary 。我们第一天的单字。好，那我们 regular 呢is used as an adjective here in the article, but we can also use it as a noun to mean a regular customer. So, for instance, regulars at this bar get free drinks on the weekend. Are you a regular anywhere?
I'm not a regular anywhere. I don't go out anymore.
Okay, because of your kids?
Yeah, unless you count like my local 7-Eleven and supermarket, PX Smart or something. That's about as much as it is.
Okay.
Okay, so we're saying Augie is just a regular 10-year-old, but the article concludes, but in order for him to have a regular childhood, people need to let him tell his own story. So what this means is that they can't make his whole life about his facial deformity. We've got to sort of move past that and say, okay, your face is different, but you tell us about you, so don't just make Augie's whole life about looking different. What else is your life about? And that's for him to tell his own story, not for other people to tell it for him.
所以呢，为了让他有一个跟大家一样的童年，我们就是要让他讲述自己的故事，不要把焦点放在他的 facial deformity， 而是去看到这个人更多的内在，更多的面向哦。
And that is the end of our article, but we're not quite done yet, as we've still got today's For You chat question.
For You chat.
So today's question is relating to what's been going on in this story and asks, have you ever wrongly judged a book by its cover? And what did you learn from the experience?
I'm usually the one that's judged.
Oh, really? What do people judge by looking at your cover?
Like, usually they see me for the first time. They're like, oh, you look cold. You look distant.
Oh, you don't smile. You got kind of.
I don't know. Or maybe because I look pale.
Okay.
Like usually more pale than most Taiwanese people, and they will be like, "Oh, you look pale. You're not from Taiwan, and you look like you come from a very good family, and so you don't work hard."
Oh.
But I work my BB asses off. Every day.
Yeah, that's kind of judging people by stereotypes.
Yeah.
That's definitely not a good thing to do. I'm sure I have done this. I'm sure at university or something like that. You meet a bunch of new people, and some of the people you meet in your first week, you think, hey, this guy seems really cool. And then you sort of spend a bit more time with them. It's like, no, we actually don't really have anything in common, and this guy's not that interesting. And equally, you look at somebody and you think, they just look kind of like strange or quiet.
Basic.
And then you actually get to know them, and they're like, oh, we've got a load of stuff in common, and you sort of. I remember there was one university's like I'd seen the guy around in the hall that I was living in. We never really kind of chatted much, but then we found out we both were fans of WWE pro wrestling, and so for the kind of second half of that year, we had great fun watching the shows and having a laugh and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I didn't get to know know him for a few months, so I probably just thought, oh, he's just another guy. But it turns out, yeah, we both like, silly wrestling stories and stuff.
So always get to know someone.
Yeah, you should definitely like engage in a chat with people before you sort of make up your mind like this person is somebody I'm going to be friends with or not.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, or listening, in fact, everybody. For English for You, I'm Pat. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Strength. Although the weather was bad, Quinn's strength helped her reach the top of the mountains. Affect. The loud traffic outside Betty's window affected her sleep, and she felt very tired the next day. Struggle. Helen wasn't listening in class, so she struggled to complete her homework that night. Respond. The police responded to the 110 call by sending officers to the scene of the car accident. Accept. My sister's boyfriend really wanted everyone to accept him as part of the family. Regular. Jake's new car looks just like a regular car. I don't know why he thinks it's so special.
智慧小补帖
Loyal.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net